keep pushing forward. It wasn't easy. I mean, there were moments where I felt like we were pushing an impossible weight up that giant mountain. And we fell back down several times. People thought that I was a crazy freak. I'm always hungry for more. I want more. And I think all of you want more.
I believe that self-discipline is the definition of self-love.
Of course, I've always believed in setting goals really high. I always like to set goals so high that the naysayers always say it's impossible.
Let the dream destroy you. Let it strip you. Let it remake and mold you. Don't be afraid.
This millennials are stuck with degrees that are not usable and bills that they can't pay for. Middle America is frustrated because the jobs are gone and they don't seem to be coming back. Inner cities are frustrated because there's no economic opportunities in there. Each of us has a responsibility to stop waiting on someone to rescue us and redesign our lives and create the kind of life you want to live.
Ignore the naysayers. To set big goals and to have a big vision. Yes, everything is always impossible until someone does it. We can do the impossible. Let's get started.
Do what you can. Knock it out. Build up extra free time. If you need a break, take a break. Do what you can. If you need a break, take a break. If you need a little relaxation, take some relaxation. Yeah. Don't waste your time, though. People do relaxing, but they don't even do it good. They don't even feel relaxed when they get done. What they did is they did something stupid for an hour. They watched YouTube videos for an hour. Did that help you? No. Go outside, go for a run, do some burpees, go surfing, go do some jiu-jitsu, play with your kids, whatever. Do something that actually has some value.
If you don't know where you are going, you don't know what it takes to get there.
When you get up in the morning, don't think. Just roll out of bed, go in your life cycle, or go on a bicycle ride, or go to the gym, work out. You know that's what you have to do. And then read something and learn something. So don't even think about it. As soon as you think that you're perfect, that's when you're screwed. I gotta get better. I gotta lose more weight. I gotta trim down my tummy. I gotta get bigger calves. I gotta get bigger deltoids.
Listen to me, you have to be careful when you hang around average people. All they're going to do is tell you what they can't do, and that's okay that they can't do it, but that has absolutely nothing to do with us. We can go from being homeless and high school dropouts to having PhDs, writing books, and becoming the voice of a generation. We can do whatever we believe we can do, and we don't need anybody's permission to do it but ours.
You know, if you're not quite reaching your goal because you didn't do everything that you could do, you have time. You make the time.
You make right now is up to you. You crying about something that happened to you when you was a kid. You ain't even no kid no more. You a grown man. Take full ownership. The stupid stuff you doing, your parents didn't make you play no video games. And what you crying about? So what your daddy wasn't there? Your mama ended up getting married. What you crying about? He went to work every day. He never beat you. He never abused you. Your mama did the best she knew how to do. What you crying about? You grew up in a house. What you crying about?
What the hell are we all waiting for? Start attacking life. Waiting for the stars to align.
No matter how many years you've lived up till now, no matter how many years you have yet to live in the time you've had on this planet, no matter how much of that time you can waste it over and over and over, right now is the moment you have.
When you want to succeed, as bad as you want to breathe, young man, then you will be successful in any area of your life.
Is it too cold where you live? Is it too hot where you live? Does it rain too much? Now it's time for some real talk. Life's a real big picture. When I was young, all those things got in my head. Black, not smart enough, single mom, all that bullshit owns space in my head. If you're allowing people and things and situations to own space in your head, you're losing.
You wake up in the morning and you're dreading going to work, dude, do something else. Do something else. And those are hard decisions to make, but when you make those decisions, it's a very liberating experience.
I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids, but I was rich because I had a dream.
You're gonna get your ass kicked, we're gonna get the shit kicked out of us. You gotta get up, you gotta have faith that the one thing you wanted to happen oftentimes is the best thing that never happened. So have faith, just keep that in mind, keep plugging away.
3 o'clock in the doggone morning. I'm doing it every day and 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm telling y'all, the breakthrough, I'm gonna break these boys. Why? Because where they come from, they couldn't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning if they wanted to. They smothered at me. They come from privilege. They got the language, they got the code, they got the rules, they grew up in it, but they will not get up earlier than me. They will not put out more content than me.
Life's one big head game. You play with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your head. Stay hard. So I'm getting ready to board my plane yesterday, and this NFL football player comes up to me. He goes, "Goggins, can I ask you a question? How do you keep that dog mentality?" I said, "Let me ask you a question. When you were younger, what did you want to be?" He said, "An NFL football player. But once I got there, I lost that dog mentality." He had a finish line in his brain. Guess what? A true dog mentality, I have a dog at home. He never gets full. It's not enough you made to the NFL. Beat an MVP. It's not enough you ran a 5K. Win a 10K.
Most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it.
We live in a world now that's so kind. We find the kind way around everything. Like, if you don't look good, I have to find a kind way of saying, "I don't like your shirt."
Right.
That's not the approach. If that's the approach you're looking for, that book is not for you. Can't Hurt Me is not for you. The approach you have to take, at least I took, you take whatever approach you want. The conversation had to be a real, honest conversation. In the accountability mirror, guess what? I was fat. Don't find a kind word to say that, you know what, I've gained some weight. No, you're fat. When I couldn't read, not like, hey, you know, you have a learning disability. No, I cannot read. At a 4th grade reading level, I'm struggling, and sometimes I call myself stupid. Not in a way to put myself down.
Sometimes you act on it good, sometimes bad. You got to change the internal dialogue. That person in your head that's talking that to you, until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you got to change that. I once had that mentality that no one understands what the I'm going through. And if you keep that mentality, you're going to stay in the same exact spot that you're in, that no one understands me. There's millions of people. Why do you think a book that I self-published, is doing so well with a story that's so f***ed up? People like, I'll never forget when I went to a publishing house, like, who's going to resonate with this story? No one's going to buy this book. I'm like, are you not in the world? Are you not in society? You're never alone. Everybody's going through So when people get this mentality of like, you don't understand me, you can throw a rock to someone that can understand you if they're willing to break themselves down and stop hiding. A lot of people understand you, but you got to stop hiding. And that's why I tell people, a lot of people are going through they just hide better than you did. That's all they did. They was hiding better.
Don't find words to make yourself feel better, because so we hang around people that make us feel better, that tell us what we want to hear, not what we need to hear. And so we stay away from those people. And we stay away from those people, like our internal dialogue becomes that kind, it's okay. It's not okay. So that's where it starts. It starts with that accountability of it's not okay anymore. This can no longer be okay. And calling yourself out for exactly what you are and exactly how you need to fix it.
A lot of us give total control to life. We don't have any control of it. We just give all control to life. I do this shit every morning to prepare my mind for what life's gonna throw at me. A healthy body gives you a healthy mind. That's what it's about. So if you go into battle, you wanna go into battle with the right mindset, the right gear. In combat, you wear body armor. But what we do wrong is we don't strengthen our minds. You gotta strengthen your mind, take control of that. Most of us live our entire lives avoiding failure. It's funny. I walk around, people come to me, they say, man, you're that Navy SEAL, you went through Ranger School, you were, Air Force TAC P, you did the pull-up record, you run all these ultra races, all this shit, man. The funny thing about it that I think about is this. They know that part of me. This is the part I know about myself. I failed the ASVAB test to get in the military 3 times. In the Air Force, failed at pararescue. In the SEALs, it took me 3 times to get through Navy SEAL training. The pull-up record took me 3 times. This is what I know about me. So what I'm saying is this. You can't live your life being afraid to fail. All those failures made me the success in the day. Stay hard, stay in the fight. As you know, I'm a serious introvert and very afraid of people. I got judged so much growing up that this is uncomfortable for me. All these podcasts, that's why I post once a week. But the one thing I realized why I wrote the book is, honestly, I have a story to tell, as we all have a story to tell. And what I realized on my journey was a lot of us don't believe that we can achieve the impossible. And along my journey, I started realizing, man, I gotta tell some people about this shit, man. Like, I discovered something that some people have, but they don't even know. All of us have it. But along this way, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't a theorist. I became a practitioner. And I was like, my God, I'm busting down so many barriers of, like, I have a learning disability. Okay, but I'm catching up with everybody. I figured that out. I figured out all these negative things in my life that were keeping me in this hole. I'm like, I gotta tell people, man, that, hang on a second, man. You can achieve the absolute impossible.
A cop asked me once, he said, man, what's your dream? I said, I'm gonna go Division I, I'm gonna go to college, and I'm gonna go to the league. And he's like, you'll probably go to cell block D1. And I was like, man, you're making a mistake. Like, I've never met you a day in my life. I got an uncle in jail, right? Got an uncle in prison, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, apple don't fall too far from the tree, right? And what he was saying to me was, you'll probably repeat the same pattern that they repeated. You come from the same household, right? And I could have looked at it and made an excuse and said, I'm gonna lower my standards to meet and accommodate my household, my experience, my situation, my circumstance. Or I can take my situation and my circumstance and raise my standard and say, I'm going to be an example, I'm going to triumph, and I'm gonna use my situation and my circumstance as my driving force and my fuel. If I do this well, I can get my family in a better situation. If I do this well, I can get my mother off the double shift at Wendy's. If I do this well, I can get my own bed. If I do this well, I can get my grandmother a better living condition. If I do this well, maybe I can stop my uncles from selling drugs. This is my purpose. This is what I've been put here to do. And so the opposition, adversity, the challenges, is just a part of the process. It's gonna make me a better person. But my purpose, I can't let anything stop or detour me from tapping into that every single day, right? Because for most people, when you go through something, the person's natural perspective is, okay, what did I lose, right? What happened to me? Like, I took a loss, right? People never look at it and say, okay, man, tell me, what did you gain, right? Even though I know it hurt, you didn't want to go through it, but look at it in a way to where you can say, what's the lesson in this, right? What would you say life is trying to teach you from dealing with this, right? Because I'm coming from this household where I sleep on the floor, right? With roaches, with rats. I'm not ashamed to admit it, right? And I would go to school and I would compete, I would work. And so when I met a kid that I was competing against, the only thing I felt I had the advantage in my whole life was my work ethic. And I took pride in that. right? I was never the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, never had the most resources, but I had a work ethic. And so my whole life, I wanted different for my family, ever since I was a kid, right? And so never allowing a situation or a circumstance to define your life, and understanding that you got something inside of you that's greater than a situation or a circumstance, but you have to constantly believe it. And not only believe it, you have to make decisions and choices every single day that put you a step forward toward what you believe your destiny is. And so when I went through it, my perspective was, okay, what can I extract from it to apply to other areas and aspects of my life that I feel can help other people? And I firmly believe the quicker you can shift your perspective from yourself to others when you're in the midst of adversity, the quicker you'll get through it, right? Martin Luther King has a quote that says, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing to help other people?
A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation with a depressed mindset. You're depressed because you're not doing with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in the grip of life. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's where you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. If some of you aren't doing shit, your 10% is just getting off the couch. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
Let me see if I can fix myself. So I said, if I can just walk one more mile after being in the worst shape of my entire life, this would change everything for me mentally going forward. From this kid who came from dirt, nothing, who couldn't read until he was a junior in high school and is now here. I walked a mile. I said, maybe I can walk one more mile. Maybe I can walk another mile. At mile 81, my ex-wife looked at me and said, you're not gonna make the time. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, and this is what I found out, this is my 40% rule. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, your body will adapt to whatever is in front of it. I ended up running 20 more miles. I did 101 miles in 19 hours and 6 minutes. And that one day changed, 19 hours. It wasn't SEAL training, it wasn't Ranger School, it wasn't Delta Force, it wasn't any of that crap I went through. It was this 19 hours and 6 minutes that forever changed my life, to know that we as human beings are capable of anything. And we don't need any special kind of parents or tools to get there. So I end you with this. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Thank you very much.
Come on. Get it. 17. They don't know me, son. Get it. 18. They don't know me, son. Get it. 19. They don't know me, son. Yeah. 20. You got some more in you. 21. Yeah. Get it again. Come on. We want to see it. Good. 22. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on. 23. Come on. 24. One more, David. Who's one more? Carry the boats. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You did it. Yeah. One thing that changed my life is my grandfather. He told me, you're going nowhere in your life, not being anything. As bad as that hurt me, it got me to pull my head out of my ass. So learn to stay hard, have thick skin, and do what's right. What you need is the one thing I talk about in my book, which is straight up brutal work ethic. You have to be willing to outwork everybody in the world. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. This isn't like some 5-step process where if you do these 5 steps, you're going to end up with this magical world. No, I'm basically teaching you how to callous over your victim's mentality. This is all about the quitting mind. So what's the quitting mind? So let's say it's day 1 of a job interview. You have your clothes laid out. You've been preparing for weeks and weeks and weeks. You show up and you bring your best self. After a couple months, You start showing up to work a little later. You don't look as good. Your breakfast isn't ready. Your mind's getting softer. Repetition every day. Stay hard.
You're defined by what you define failure as. It's not a thing if it leads you to your success. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. You have to appreciate those moments, because what happens right after you feel like you failed is who you are and who you will continue to be.
If you constantly remind yourself after every defeat, after every setback, every time you get knocked down, I've got a saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
Failure is a part of the learning process, right? What's the risk of failure? What, you'll be embarrassed?
Failure is part of life. The difference for me, though, is I look at failure as a stepping stone to success. It's a speed bump. I know I'm going to fail.
There's always challenges, obstacles, etc. And I literally don't accept any of that as an impediment, as a negative. It's like, good, this is going to make me stronger. I'm going to learn something from this.
It's not failure if you learn something.
See, a lot of people, because of failure, they stop believing. Let me share something with you. You will fail your way to success. Yes, 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. You will fail your way to success.
Fail early, fail often, fail forward.
Best advice that I could give you on success is to know that success is merely the hangover of failure, and that failure is an essential ingredient in creating a learning atmosphere for you, so that you can accrue those learnings, those small incremental steps of failure, and collect enough learning so that you can arrive at success.
It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter how many times people tell you that you can't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dime in the bank. You will fail your way to success.
You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. Embrace it, because it's inevitable.
You don't make excuses for the failure, you grieve it. You feel the pain. You don't brush it off, you don't downplay it. You feel the pain and you don't rush to feel better. Now, listen, this is a principle of life I'm about to tell you. To get past it, you gotta go through it. That's true in so many areas, but it's particularly true with failure. To get past your failure, that failure in your life, you got to go through it. You can't go around your failure. You can't go over your failure. You can't go under your failure. You can't ignore your failure. You need to grieve the failure.
Fail early, fail often, fail forward.
If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit.
You should seek failures. See, if you're playing it safe, you're not going to win. It's by trying things that you figure out how far you can go. You got to get outside the box.
You're going to fail. It's okay. Okay? You're going to fail. And I'm not talking about the tests. It's one thing. I'm talking about to your knees, your skin, bloody, fail. And that's okay, because you know what? You know down deep inside of all of you, that's how you learn.
Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, and remember this, fall forward.
Right? I think we're taught in the system that failure is something that you should be ashamed of. Failure is for the dumb kids, because you get an F. You get a D, right? You're not competent. You didn't comply. You didn't create the evidence of your worthiness. You need to be motivated by failure. How'd you learn how to walk? You crawled, then you fell down, busted your tooth, got some blood in your mouth, you get up and you walk, right? Self-directed. Success doesn't look like an A+. It doesn't look like 110 in extra credit. And failure isn't as simple as an F. And it's not always like failure could be very gray. right? And being able to discern what you might arrive at an event or in your life where you think that, wow, I've succeeded. And you're getting the affirmation from all these outside forces. But if it's not aligned authentically with to whom what you are, it could very much feel like failure.
You have to dare to suck. You will never make something great if you are afraid that it's going to suck, that it is going to fail.
Fail early, fail often, fail forward. It's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. Fail early, fail often, fail forward.
And that fire in your belly that got you here, keep it, love it, keep throwing logs on it. It's important. Your tenacity and your ability to define who you are through those failures will be your ultimate success.
And I'm telling you, if you fall in love with small, if you fall in love with every second, every minute, every hour of the day, you stop thinking about 2012, you stop thinking about 2013, and you focus on the now. You master the now. You become an expert of the now. I'm guaranteeing you're gonna blow up. I need you to stop trying to do it big. I need you to fall in love with small, and guess what? Big gonna be attractive to you.
That there is something better for you to do with your time than even being here. Right now, I am Mr. Resistance. I'm distracting you from doing the work you need to do. Get the fuck out of here and do the work of your life.
Everybody can serve. Anyone can be a leader. Listen, our gravestone has a day when you were born and a day when you die. And they got a dash in between. And that dash defines what your legacy is. Dr. Miles Monroe compares leaders to the king of the jungle, he says. He says the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. The lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. The lion is not the smartest nor the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet when the lion shows up, he is king. He is king. You don't need to be intelligent. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to have a certain height. You don't need to have a certain weight. You don't need to have any kind of advantage, and yet you can be a leader. I was not the biggest, the strongest, or fastest, but my goals were clear. My actions were and still are in service of those goals.
When the gazelle wakes up, it runs. But if a lion ain't chasing it, it stops running. But when the lion wakes up, it don't need nobody to push it. It pushes itself. I'm trying to perfect the now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm trying to look at each second and make sure I'm doing something each second. I want to make sure each minute I'm doing something each minute. I want to make sure in every hour I'm doing something every hour. I want to make sure in that day I'm getting something done. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, that I'm effective. You don't have to be perfect. What drives you? Why are you playing this game? Are you a gazelle or are you a lion?
You take that challenge. When you answer the call, and you see the other side of pain. It's called glory. This is called glory.
Right now, I am Mr. Resistance. I'm distracting you from doing the work you need to do. Get the fuck out of here and do the work of your life.
Take that challenge. When you answer the call, and you see the other side of pain. It's called glory. This is called glory. There's somebody sitting home right now. There's a young 10-year-old kid sitting home that don't have a father. And he's ready to join the gang. He's ready to give up. I'm telling you, don't give in. And don't ever give up.
We went to bed last night. Had all these ideas about how you're going to get up this morning. It's going to be different. Things are going to be different. Today you're going to start taking steps towards doing some of those projects that you know get you closer to living that dream life you keep playing over and over in your head. Different from the practical life that you got to get up and meet every day. To go to the cubicle-infested world and work a job just to pay the bills. Put gas in the gas tank to take you places where you don't really want to go, to be around people you don't enjoy being around. Put groceries in a refrigerator. Groceries that keep you fat and lazy, keep you away from being healthy and fit in your life.
What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game?
Pay the mortgage on a house that doesn't inspire you, it's just a nuisance and you hate coming home to. What the fuck are you doing? And you know what makes it even worse? Is that you're a coward. Before you got from the bedroom to the kitchen, Mr. Ugly was there. Mr. Resistance, right in your ass, telling you what you were going to do different than what you want to do and what the inner voice inside of you tells you need to do with your life. Telling you that those things that you believe matter and have a purpose in your life really don't. That the silly, the superficial, the stupid does.
There are those of you right now, you should have cut a CD. You should have wrote a book. You should have got in school and got that degree. You should have started your own business. There's so many things you should have done. You should have done, but you didn't do it because you're scared. You believe that you said scared of what? I ain't scared. You are scared. You are scared. You're scared of failure. You're scared to make a mistake. You're scared that you're not perfect. What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game? Are you a gazelle or are you a lion?
Mr. Resistance will be there every morning, noon, and night. And while you are sleeping, right in your ass, kicking your ass, unless you turn around and you start throwing punches.
What's your purpose for playing this game? Why are you doing what you're doing? And when you know why you're doing what you're doing, you saw my t-shirt, no alarm clock needed. My passion wakes me up. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning, no clock. I ain't used the clock in 20 years. My passion wakes me up. My drive wakes me up. What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game? Are you a gazelle or are you a lion? And I'm telling you today, you ain't gotta be perfect. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You don't have to be perfect to get what you want, to do what you want, to have what you want, to be what you want. You don't have to be perfect. It's a lie.
Everybody can serve. Anyone can be a leader.
You don't have to be perfect, but what you have to do is perfect the day. That's what I want you to do. You'll never be perfect. As long as you're alive, there's always progress. You can always get better. But listen to me. I want you to practice perfecting the 24 hours. You hear me? 60 minutes in a day. 1,440 seconds. That's what I want you to concentrate on. I want you to concentrate on the now.
And you know what makes it even worse? Is that you're a coward.
When I wake up in the morning and I'm working on my speech, when I get up in the morning and I'm answering a phone call, when I get up in the morning, listen to me very closely, and I'm writing down every idea I dreamed about, every movie. I can't even watch a movie now. I can't even listen to music without writing something down. I get my iPod and I'm writing everything down. It's right here, everything. And so guess what? Guess what? Every meeting I read, every time I'm practicing, every book I read, everything I do to make me better.